Hey everybody, Austin here again with another pinball gameplay video. Today it's going to be Attack from Mars, a pinball machine by Bally Williams in 1995. Now this is an all-time classic pinball machine, probably one of the highest rated games out there, and as such it's one of the more expensive games on the used market today. For good reason though, it's a classic. It's easily one of my favorite Bally Williams games, and I think if you talk to a lot of people that have played pins from this era, they'll probably tell you the exact same thing. Attack from Mars is not the most complicated game in existence, but it does have a lot of modes to it. It is very nuanced in certain aspects. And it's just a ton of fun to play. Great humor in this game. Great soundtrack. It's just a great package through and through. Now, I want to make one disclaimer before we start. As usual, the typical disclaimer anyway. If you do not like commentary pinball videos, please go to my YouTube channel or check the description box below for links to non-commentary versions of this exact same gameplay video. I also have full screen footage that's rotated for those of you guys on smartphones and tablets. And you will also get DMD footage sort of transposed on top of that as well. I'd also like to give a major shout out to Harold Toller, aka Herg, over on Pinside. Herg is he's a local player here in Virginia, and this is his machine. He invited me over to his house, said, "Hey, let's do some gameplay videos," and we did. And it's just, his Attack from Mars is absolutely a stunning machine. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's definitely one of the best, probably the best AFM I've ever played, and it was definitely a joy to play his machine. For those of you guys that are just used to routed machines, there's really nothing like playing a absolutely pristine, fully decked out pinball machine from the mid-90s. It plays like butter. And as you can see, as you watch this gameplay video, I'll actually be doing pretty decently with my shots and so forth. A lot of that is thanks to the fact that the game is playing so smooth. So Harold/Herg, thanks once again. I really appreciate it. And so yeah, Attack from Mars. It's got quite a few things to do in it. You've got your typical multi-ball. Much like Medieval Madness, you can hit the light lock shot, which is next to the saucer in the center of the playfield. On default settings, when you hit the lock shot, it'll be light lock, and then it'll light all three locks, and then you can lock three balls back to back to start multi-ball. If you're playing in a competition or tournament, you're probably going to be playing a lot of just your regular multi-ball, because it's just like Medieval Madness. It's not very hard to get started. And one of the great things about Attack from Mars, unlike Medieval Madness, is that when you lock a ball in this game, you get basically a free feed to your left flipper. There's a vertical up kicker that kicks the ball out to your left flipper, basically. And so if you're playing in competition, or if you just want to get some big points pretty quickly, if you're good with control, you want to play your multi-ball a lot. There's actually several different multi-balls in the game. For one, there's just your standard multi-ball that everybody knows. There's also Total Annihilation. And in this gameplay right here, I'm actually purposely trying to go for Total Annihilation. And actually, I just got it. So we are actually in Total Annihilation right now. You notice every shot, or at least the four main shots, your two ramps and your two orbits, they have inserts leading up to them. When you complete all of the inserts just by shooting the shots, you start Total Annihilation. What's kind of interesting is that if you can, every time you complete a shot, a full set of shots on, say, your ramps, your orbits, it'll light a hurry up on the saucer. And there's a really cool little stack you can do called the billion hurry up. It'll start Total Annihilation automatically and award you 1 billion points if you can start all of the hurry ups together, all four hurry ups together, and it'll automatically start Total Annihilation and award you 1 billion points. And I was actually trying to do that on ball 1, but I failed, so I wasn't able to do that. Total Annihilation, basically what happens is every shot is lit for points, or at least your four main shots again are lit for points. That value builds every time you score a jackpot, but what's great is that all of those jackpots are added together, and you can collect one major huge jackpot, depending on how many shots you've made, by hitting the standard lock shot. And so Total Annihilation is also a great way to get big points, and along with playing your standard multi-ball and collecting that jackpot, which we haven't actually played the standard multi-ball yet, but we will, and I can explain that once we get there. So one of the other big draws to the game is the saucer in the center of the playfield. Now, I'm sure most of you guys that are watching this have played this game, so you already know what I'm talking about. But basically, you can bash on the saucer and basically take out the cities. There's a whole row of inserts leading up to the saucer in the center of the playfield. And if you complete your 5 cities, the last one will light, which is Attack Mars. And that's it. You'll have to shoot the ball up into the saucer 10 times to complete that. And then the saucer's permanently lit. It's permanently open. There's actually a wall in front of the saucer that has to lower down. You have to hit it 3 times or sometimes twice, depending on where the ball hits. And so, yeah, it's fun. So now we're actually in Martian multi-ball. This is a 2-ball multi-ball. And to activate that, you have to hit the Martian targets, and then Martian attacks multi-ball will light on your scoop. Now, that was actually a really bad multi-ball, but what I like to do with Martian attacks is try to progress towards Total Annihilation. Martian attacks is one of those multi-balls where it doesn't block you out from doing certain things. So you can use Martian attacks to try to progress towards Total Annihilation, and that's actually what I was trying to do. You can also stack Martian attacks into your standard multi-ball, and so that's actually not half bad either. You know, you start a normal multi-ball, or you start Total Annihilation even, and you've got both of those multi-balls running. Normally in Martian attacks, what you're supposed to do is hit the Martian stand-up targets, and I think it's something along the lines of 50 million a shot. So, you know, if you've got that running on top of another multi-ball, your points can actually start to snowball really quickly, because a lot of balls will be hitting those Martian targets. So, that's sort of the basics of the game, but if you want to get to the big wizard mode of the game, you need to actually light all your inserts, both your saucer inserts, you know, leading up to the saucer, which is a lot of work. I try to take those out, you know, in multi-balls, and then you need to complete your green inserts by the slingshots. There's 6 inserts. One is for your super jackpot in your normal multi-ball, and speaking of the normal multi-ball, here it is. 5 shots are lit for jackpots, both ramps, both orbits, and then the light lock shot. Once you collect those, a roving super jackpot will light starting on the left orbit, and that'll go all the way across the playfield and then go back. And I actually failed to get that. Totally failed to get that. And okay, yeah, it kicked another ball out. Okay, so basically what happens here is I get 1 jackpot away, and I just keep bricking the shot. When I was playing this gameplay session, I was actually having issues with both the left ramp and the right orbit. This was actually my second game on the machine, and so, you know, in this recording session, and this turned out to be my better game of the two, and I just went ahead and just used this footage for this video. But I actually had a really hard time with that right orbit. The flipper wasn't as snappy as I expected it to be, and so my shot angles were off. And so while this is actually a pretty decent game overall, and you guys will see I managed to accomplish quite a bit in this game. I get to Mars attacks, or attack Mars, I forgot what it is. I can barely read the inserts from here. And I complete that. I do Total Annihilation, I think, multiple times. Super Jackpot is actually the only thing I missed. So I got very close to getting to rule the universe, and for me, Super Jackpot is usually one of the first things I complete. So yeah, we're back to working on the saucer, but going over the modes a little bit further, one of the insert lights down by the slingshots, one of your 6 inserts, is Super Jackpot and multi-ball, which you saw I just failed at doing. Another is a 5-way combo. 5-way combo is usually pretty tough for a lot of people, but I typically just combo the ramps back to back. And if I have my orbits complete, the ball will completely loop around and your combo will keep going. So maybe I'll do ramp, ramp, orbit. Attack from Mars is a great game for loop passing. And for those of you guys that don't know what loop passing is where you do a full orbit shot. The ball flies back around to your opposite flipper, and you hold the flipper up, and right as the ball touches it, you drop the flipper. And the ball does this really interesting bounce, and it just bounces right over to your opposite flipper, and you can capture it and cradle it if it's done right. And you'll actually see the loop pass done quite a bit in this video. I think I do it quite a bit. Attack from Mars is really known for being one of the best machines to do loop passes on. And so if you actually aren't familiar with the loop pass and you want to practice it on Attack from Mars if you have access to an AFM. It's a great game to practice your loop passes on. And I highly recommend getting used to that. It actually makes the game a lot easier, believe it or not. I mean, it makes the 5-way combos easier, but it also makes getting control easier because while I have a decent game here, Attack from Mars can be deceivingly brutal. Like, it can be tough. But when you use the right control strategies, like the loop pass, or holding your left flipper up when you hit that left ramp, and just hopping the ball over to the right flipper and getting a cradle. Like, there's a loop pass right there. So, this is actually how a lot of Bally Williams games were from back in the day, actually. Unlike some of the modern Sterns today, is you could use a lot of these tactics to get full control and just completely dominate the game. But if you flailed, the games would be really difficult. That's multiple loop passes back to back, as you can see. Works great on Attack from Mars, especially this specific one. And there, I'm actually flailing right there. Doesn't really work, and as you can see, the ball got back into danger, whereas when I was loop passing, I just had full control over what was happening. And that's really how you can make your games go a long time on AFNs, getting that full control. So we're actually back into Total Annihilation, but because I've already played it once, I'm basically going for the saucer to try to get, more saucer hits. I'm on my fifth city, and so it actually takes a lot of hits to take that last saucer down. So you really want to do it in multi-ball. You can do it in single-ball play, but it's risky. You're putting the ball into risk every time you try to do that. So there was an Annihilation jackpot. I got 150 million for that one shot, and I believe that was basically a culmination of either 2 or 3 Total Annihilation jackpots. Total Annihilation, the jackpot values can build up very, very high. I think I've got it to where I was getting over 100 million for a single shot. That's not counting the Annihilation jackpot itself, which is the culmination jackpot, where it adds all your existing jackpots together until you cash it in. So, alright, now that we're back out of that Total Annihilation, let me go back and try to explain a couple of the other 6 inserts down there, and that is a tilt. The tilt was actually pretty tight on this game, believe it or not, but again, if you don't, if you play well and if you use your loop passes and other control techniques, a lot of times you won't even really need to nudge this game. It's just kind of crazy how this works. AFM works in particular. So I talked about the 5-way combo. I talked about the super jackpot. Another insert is getting through all of your cities, basically destroying all the UFOs. And now I'm on the last one, so all I have to do is knock the wall down again. And then the wall behind the main wall, the UFO wall, I guess you could call it, is it'll be permanently open for this mode. So what I'm going to do here now is just go for all 10 shots. You have to hit the UFO 10 times. Ball feeds back to your left flipper every single time. And on this one, it was a little tricky to hit on the fly. The angle was just a little weird for me. And as you guys will see, there's a lot of bricked shots, but yeah. So that's another insert. Another insert you have to light is Super Jets. Super Jets, for those of you guys that don't know, it's typically a pop bumper mode. Jets, back in the the Williams days, jets were a synonym for pop bumpers, basically. And so, you'd have super jets, and they'd basically be super pop bumpers or something like that. Nowadays with Stern, they just call them super pops. And so I believe it's 100 pop bumper hits by default on default settings. You can change settings in the settings. but by default I believe it's 100 pop humper hits. That'll activate super pops, and then super pops, basically the pop humpers are worth a lot more points than they typically are. The second you activate super pops though, your insert will light. Another insert I believe is Total Annihilation, so I already got the Total Annihilation, so that insert lit. And what's the last one I'm missing? Am I missing anything? Super Jets, Total Annihilation, Super Jackpot, 5-way combo, saucers. What the hell am I missing? I can't even read the the inserts down there. So, and yeah. Oh, Martian attacks. Sorry, that's another one. The multi-ball we played earlier today with the Martians, and which is actually coincidentally lit again. So, and yeah, so if you complete all 6 inserts, you'll light Rule the Universe, which is on your main scoop. A lot of people call it the Stroke of Luck scoop, because typically that's what's going to be lit on the scoop. If you complete all 4 in-lanes, all 4 in-lane lights, you'll light Stroke of Luck on the scoop, which is to the right of the saucer. And basically what Stroke of Luck is basically your mystery award. You can get a lot of things in Stroke of Luck if it's on default settings and normal sort of settings for normal play, not tournament mode. If it's on tournament mode, Stroke of Luck is always worth 50 million, and that's it. It won't do anything, no randomizations or anything. However, in normal play with normal settings, Stroke of Luck, it can lower your barrier in front of the saucer. It can give you this really cool multi-ball called Strobe Multi-Ball, where pretty much all the lights go out except for this flasher on the saucer. It's a really, really cool mode, kind of trippy, and you have to bash the wall a bunch of times. You'll also get video mode off the Stroke of Luck, and unfortunately I wasn't actually going for the Stroke of Luck. I'm used to playing this machine on tournament mode, and so I wasn't actually actively going for the Stroke of Luck, and that was a very, very poor failed bounce pass, which is kind of sad because all I needed was 2 more shots to get my multi-ball going, and then I had a really, really good chance at showing you guys Rule the Universe. I was at a friend's house again. I didn't want to just play a million games, otherwise I would have actually tried again, because the game was just playing like butter again. It's just it was a very, very nice attack from Mars, and I had a lot of fun doing this video. So that's basically it. I think I pretty much covered everything with this game. There's some other little minute details, but that's basically AFM in a nutshell. Another great game by Bally Williams. If you guys have any questions, post them in the comments below. And again, feel free to check out some other pinball videos here on my YouTube channel, and feel free to subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.